Welcome back. I've just come back in from the workshop. It was getting a bit cold out there. I have to apologise. It's been quite a while since my last video. A lot longer than I'd have liked, but I've been unable to do much. I've been doing little short bits every now and again as my back's been starting to get better and I can start to feel like I'm up to doing little bits. So what I'm going to show you now is a culmination of lots of little bits. And yeah, as it's taken a little longer than I expected, in the recordings I've done, I've not wished a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I have just taken that long to record the video. It was started before Christmas and I hoped to have got to this stage before Christmas. It's now in the new year, and Happy New Year to everybody. I wish you all the very best of the new year, and I hope that some of what I do inspires people to keep doing or start doing bits of their own in the workshop. So let's get back to the action in the workshop. Speak to you in a bit. So it's been a while since I've been out in the workshop. I'm still recovering, but I'm starting to feel a lot better than I was. The odd 10-15 minutes, half hour even, is feeling like it's possible now. Still no lifting, and I've got to be careful what I'm doing with movement, but I can start to do odd bits. So I've decided to come and spend a half hour and seal the valve chest together on the Pompom. So what I've done at this stage, I've used some degreaser in a can. I've cleaned up the top of the valve chest. I've cleaned up the top of the valve chest, the bottom of the valve chest cover. And all I'm going to do is put a smear of high temperature silicone around that jointing face, bolt it back together, and we'll take it from there. I'm going to do that now, and then at a later date, tomorrow, next week, whenever, I will get the airline onto this and see what happens. Need to give it time for the silicone to properly dry. So that's where I'm at the moment. We'll get that done, and then maybe we'll have a look at something else if we get time. And there we go. I showed you before that I dabbed the sealant on and then spread it around. I didn't want much, and as you can see, it's only just started to ooze out all the way around. So I think that's about the right amount. I put all the nuts on, and then I did use my cordless screwdriver on its very lowest torque setting, and I just went round and buzzed them all on. Nice and quick, nice and easy, and when that's dry we can then have a play with trying to put some air on the engine. So that's as far as we can get with that engine for the time being. There is stuff to be done on it. Obviously there's painting, preparation, bit of repairs here and there, but I want to try it on air first. That's as far as we're getting for the time being. I want to try it on air, see what happens, and then hopefully we'll get back to doing some more to it next time. So I'm now a few days later out in the workshop. I'm looking back at the Pompom. I did, first of all, where it's got those two feeds, one either side, I managed to find an adapter to put the airline onto one side, but the other side I only had one of them and it only needs one, so I thought, oh, I'll take that out. It's a good job I did, because it was loose. I'll take that out and I will just plug it up. I can't find a tap or a die for that thread. I need the tap to prove the thread. The thread looks a bit rough on here, but I can't prove the thread. So my next plan is to blank off the male side, much like this, but with a blind cap. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make that, put it on, and then I only need to airline on one side. I'll be back in a moment. So there's 3 ways I could seal this. I could either make the cap like a union nut, and then put a ball inside the cone, tighten it up, or I could just make it blind and tighten it up and see what happens. Or what I think I'm going to do, just as an experiment, is with that sealed down on the valve chest, if I make the cap quite deep, counterbore the first bit, then the thread will bite and it'll actually seal against the valve chest itself. That way, when I undo it, it won't put any force on this, and the thread will be tight when it's tightened up, but it'll be tightening on the face on top of the valve chest, not on the thread, so it shouldn't damage anything here. That's what I'm going to do. So I found a bit of material. I'm going to check out on my charts on the wall, drilling and tapping size. I'll drill it, tap it, then counterbore the first little bit and part it off, and we'll see what happens. And there it is. That's fitted nicely, that's fitted nicely. I'll just get the compressor going and we'll try it on air. So you can probably hear the compressor is charging up in the other room in the background. I've got a long hose coming through and a valve sitting on top. It's got a bit of pressure there, and let's see what's going to happen. Well, that seems good to me. I can hear there's a bit of a blow. I think it's this right hand piston gland, so that will get tightened up shortly. Other than that, I'm very pleased, to be honest. And it even goes in reverse, which is very good. So there we go. That is all I'm doing for today. Back's hurting too much. It's not hurting, it's just sore, and I know I've done enough for today. Lots of little bits, but I'm really pleased with where I've got to today. That running on air is incredible. When you do all that work, it gets nervy whether or not it's going to work, to put the airline on it, and the biggest problem is a leaking gland, which I have now nipped up. I then found the valve gland was a little bit weepy as well, so I nipped that a touch, and now it's all tight, just airtight, and it's running nicely. It is a bit knocky when it's running, but that's because it's sitting on blocks, it's not sitting on rollers. If it was sitting on a rolling road, the weight would be on the axle boxes, and that would, a lot of the knocking I think is the axle boxes knocking. So yeah, that's about it for today. I just want to finish off with a very happy new year to everybody. I may even get around to recording a small intro to go with this, which will say that anyway. Always so thrilled with the feedback I get, how people enjoy what I'm doing. It is very humbling. I sometimes think about, I can't be bothered to go in the workshop, or I don't have the motivation, and then I think, but I haven't put a video out for a while, so that gets me in the workshop. So then to hear nice comments from people is always very good. After my Christmas do with work the other day, I heard from my boss that his old boss who'd retired, who was at the Christmas do, he'd dropped us down at the second pub after the meal, and on his way home, he phoned up his friend who had actually interrupted watching one of my videos. So thank you to both of you. I don't know if Peter's watching, but his friend, the nice comments that came back via him were very much appreciated. So thank you very much. Please do like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and I will be back next time, hopefully with something a bit more interesting and a bit more progress on something. So take care. Bye.